Welcome to the Au Jus. I'm your host, Beef Loaf. This show is being powered by From the 108 and FromThe108.com, where you can get all of our content top to bottom, blogs, podcasts, and videos, including the world-famous Sunday Soak. You can also get all of our merch there as well, including our infamous Wave Sucks and hashtag 108ing garb. This show is powered by you, the loyal 108 supporter. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Feel free to tickle the undercarriage in the process. Like, comment, turn on notifications, and definitely do super chats, because that's how we get paid, and that's how we continue to make the content you know and love. This morning's guests. They make up 2/3 of the power trio known as From the 108, which serves as the fan base, the community podcast and blog, if you will. Welcome to the Au Jus, Chorizy-E and MySoxSummer. Boys, good to see you this fine morning. Happy opening day.
Happy opening day, man. Pretty psyched. And then I saw what we were talking before this, Beef.
There he is. Good for you, MSS.
You're like, are you guys drinking? And MSS pulls out the Jaeger, and I was like, holy shit.
He just took it all down right there.
Just finish the bottle, baby. It is opening day. If we were not in my basement right now, I would spike this on the floor and dance on the glass, baby. That's how we would do. Loaf, I came in. I just already did the hip shakes. You know, this is. You know, I'm excited when I do
You're ready to go,
right?
baby.
I know.
It's ready.
Well, I wanted to see the enthusiasm of this group because this has been a lot of opening days for us. And as From the 108, this is like our 8th, I think, opening day since we started the blog, and the podcast has been around for 5 years or whatever. So I just wanted to see the enthusiasm. I could see Chorizy is sculpted down his facial hair. He looks ready to go. He's got a pineapple guppy. MSS is chugging down Jägermeister. You know, I'm ready to go. I got my hair slicked back. I'm debating kind of what knit cap I'm wearing. I got my Bo Jackson jersey on. I think we're ready to go for opening day today, boys.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to have you guys here for this opening day. So,
That's right. Yeah, I was out of town last year. I was on spring break, and I'm actually going for spring break on Wednesday. So
it's good we snuck it in right before you leave. Now, this is my 13th year of opening days, because we haven't spent all of them together. Because Chorizy, I think you hit up a festival one time. You were down in Florida rocking out with your cock out.
I was out west. It was
out west.
It was actually called Way Out West Fest.
Way Out West Fest. Yeah. But in Arizona, in Tucson.
That's Arizona. Yeah.
Which is okay, I guess. It's like the Kmart. You know, it's like the Kmart of West Coast, or not even a West Coast, but it's West.
It's funny because me and Blakey Southside were in that band, and we're like driving through Tucson looking for a place to find that might have the Sox game on. You know, so like he's driving down the street. I got my head kind of out the window, like looking around. Now, mind you, we're on a college campus. We look like this. We're old dudes. I got my head out the window, and he was driving his father's car. His father, big time golf guy, loves golf, but because of that, he has the license plate I find 18, which is a creepy ass license plate. If you don't know that it's about golf,
dual usages. You never know though. You don't know how he's eager to get in the hole. You never know.
So I'm just glad that I didn't get arrested, having my head out the window, just like search. I was actually looking into the bars trying to see if the game was on, but it could be misinterpreted for sure.
Well, boys, I'm having you on the Au Jus because I actually want to talk about baseball. We're going to spend the next 45 minutes talking about the White Sox, something that we don't always get to on our show because we got a lot of other stuff going on. So I wanted to hit you guys up right out the gate. And I want to go around the horn with each of you answering some questions for me about the first series and then some other things heading into the year. So let's start off this way. We just watched the first series, the White Sox at the Astros. They split the series 2-2. Chorizy, I'll start off with you on this one. What's your favorite overreaction about the White Sox in these first 4 games? And it could be something that we've been overreacting on or something that you've seen on the Twitterverse or otherwise.
Well, yeah, this is actually something that our friend Josh Nelson reacted to. And I don't know that it's so much an overreaction as to what occurred, but he was like this, he was down on the Raylo 9th inning experience. And Raylo's had some rough times in these 2 games that they've asked him to come out and pitch. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a big overreaction because you have a guy who's throwing 100-mile-per-hour heat in a hitter's ballpark to some of the best hitters in the league. And he got bruised doing that, right? But he got through it. He got through it.
And they held on both games. They held on.
What he was throwing is going to mow down half the league. And I think he'll be just fine. As long as they need him in that role, I think he's going to be just fine. I'm not too worried about Raylo, especially when you see Raylo clocking triple digits each time he's throwing the ball. And that's one of the big things you're worried about with relievers coming into this year with the pitch clock is like, can they get that back up and throw another pitch 100 miles per hour right after the other one? And he can. It's easy high 90s for Raylo, and I think he's going to be just fine. I know it looks bad. Like the first couple games looks rough, but you got to put into perspective where he was pitching, who he was pitching against. I mean, I'm not terribly worried about him in the ninth inning.
Yeah, there's also an adjustment period for anyone that's taken over that role. As much as you want to believe psychologically it's no different than any other inning, it's proven to be psychologically different than every other inning. And so he had one opportunity that was a save opportunity, another that you thought was going to be a save opportunity, which backed off and didn't become one. So you had these two different kinds of, appearances. And so, yeah, they looked a little shaky, but I agree with you, Chorizy. I think all the stuff's there. I think eventually he's going to figure it out. He'll settle his ass down in those situations. MSS, what's your favorite overreaction so far?
Well,
this early season?
Also, too, Raylo just put on a beard, and he either lost weight or a beard is magnificent and making your face look smaller, which is
I'm showing that off right now.
Totally opposite of what Chorizy did, because I don't even know if he has a chin anymore. All I see is a soul patch, and there's no chin. So, anyway, Raylo, the biggest thing for me with what's happened so far, and you guys got to step outside the box and roll with me here, okay? We got to start, got to get with it. Runners left on base, right? I know it's a lot, okay? It was like 42 runners left on base in 4 games. So they're dead last, or leading the league in runners left on base. But that's just showing one thing to me. They're getting hits, and they're hitting the ball, and they're getting on base, which was sorely lacking in the last few years, right? So it's like there's a good and there's a bad of it now. They're not converting. But one thing I do know is when you go and do something 162 times, you either get better at it and you start figuring out some different things, or you go through some big lucky streaks. So sometime it's going to drop in. So everyone's like, oh my God, they've left all these runners on base. We took 2 of 4 against the current World Series champions at their house, okay? Yep. And a team that people were like, I don't know, as long as we play good, we'll see what happens. They fucking smashed the ball, and they converted on at least twice to win the fucking game. To see these guys keeping going out and just doing that, I think they're going to convert more, so I'm not really worried about it. I don't want to say, hey, guys, you keep leaving people on base. Try to do better. No, just keep doing what you're doing, and it absolutely will work out at some point.
MSS, to pile onto that, is the other thing about it is the way that they're hitting, right? Like last year, it was a shitload of singles.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot more extra base hits this year. And, I mean, I think the other thing about it, too, is this team is showing that if they get a single with half the guys that are on the roster, they're going to steal bases.
Yes.
And that changes the equation as well. So I think, even if last year we ran as much as they are this year, I don't think we would have such a bad impression of all those singles, right? But we do, because it was just like a single and then guy sits on first, right? So I think that there's, to your point, as they get on base more, Beef, I saw your tweet, they do need to walk more. Timmy leading the team in walks.
They need to walk more, yeah.
So
5.5% walk rate currently. That's
So they need to walk more, but the more they get on base, and with the way that the game is going to work this year, the way that they look to be aggressive on the base paths, I agree they're gonna score more runs than they would have in 2022.
Yeah, it's a great call, MSS. 352 on base percentage against the best 1 through 13 pitching staff in the American League. That we'll take that all day. Yes, they didn't convert in some crucial spots where we think they should have. You're right. That's going to get better. If it floats back to league average, you got something here. This is the offense we thought we would have. And really, we're looking at right now. To me, it looks like we got 8 spots in the lineup that are above average, with only maybe Elvis Andrews being the one spot that looks like it might dip below average. That's dynamite to have that many solid hitters in the lineup there. Let's swing back to you, MSS, just real quick here. Next question. What offseason issue that White Sox fans have been fixated on, could be us or whoever, or the group as a whole, you're not that worried about anymore in 2023, and why?
Right field. Having a competent left fielder and a guy that can play second or play center field and can cover as much room as we saw yesterday. Hopefully he doesn't do that too many times because that scared the shit out of me watching him run and slide. I was like, man, he's gonna fuck himself up. But between those two guys, like having a right fielder who is just average or competent is going to make a big difference. Like it shows. Last year we had 2 guys in the outfield that probably shouldn't have been playing in the outfield. Now we only have 1. That's 33% better. I'm not a math genius, but it's at least 33.5% better or something. So anyway, that's something that I'm not really all that worried about because everyone's like, oh, we need a right fielder. We need a right fielder. We don't need that. If our bats can show up the way that they have and continue to hit, we don't need that bat in right field either. I mean, it'd be nice. It's a luxury, but it's not as dire as we thought it was at the beginning, going into the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And Colas made a nice play in the gap yesterday, and his bat is starting to come alive now, So, like, he's going to have those rookie stretches. Like, they buried those sliders in on him the other day and just ate him apart, right? Sometimes that's going to happen for a young guy, but he's showing well so far, Trees. You agree with this or no?
I do. I think, and I think about both Colas and Luis Robert in when I'm thinking about this. If the fielding is there and they just go like Alfonso Soriano and just tear up the 4th and 5th pitchers on each team.
Yeah.
Like remember Soriano, like he had those gaudy numbers, but then you're like, yeah, but if it's against a 1 or 2, man, he just is not, he doesn't show up to those games. Like I think there's enough other stuff in this lineup that if they play a really good outfield, and Benintendi's going to play a good left field, like you have that strong, really strong outfield, and then you get some like mashing out of them at against some lesser teams. Shit, like you can't forget that like just because a bad pitcher's on the mound means you're going to win or something, right? Like you lose games like that. You lose games like that sleepwalking.
Guys get paid too.
If you have guys that get exactly, if you have guys that get all their hits off of those guys, I'm down with it. And I think Colas, as a rookie, might fit that bill, right? Like the tougher pitchers, they're going to be tough on him because he's a fucking rookie, man. Like every rookie's going to go through this.
And he loves the swing too.
Yeah. And Robert suffers from the same thing where he swings way too much,
Yeah.
So, but like, I think if they stabilize the front of the order, maybe Robert doesn't end up there, but they stabilize the front of the order and those guys are in like the 6th, 7th spot. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, we need Robert to pretend like he's not a rookie anymore and act like a veteran when he's out there. That's
Well,
If he
smashed-
makes catches like he did yesterday and hits home runs off of the end of the
Smashed
rotation,
the daylights
That's
out of a
true.
homer.
that's
true.
That's an amazing player for us.
I think for
take
Robert, we're hyper focused on everything because we're like he's got to be an MVP for this team to make it, and like the defense is showing right now. But you're right, I agree, Trees, doesn't. But I think that's our thought process is like we're micromanaging his things, and like he's going to suck sometimes at the plate. He's going to swing too much, but then they're going to make a mistake. He's going to hit 1/430, and you're going to be like, oh, there he is. There's our superstar.
Yeah,
That's all we need. I mean, you're right. You're right,
need.
Chorizy. You're right. But also, I just want to see a good return on this investment of this motherfucker. It's bad. Everyone kisses his ass. It's just like, no. Let's prove it to me. Prove it to me, my friend.
That's what he's got to do. Treasy, how about you? What's a problem that we've been fixated on that you're like no longer worried about heading into this 2023 season?
Well, this is kind of a funny one because like I think we were all fixated on it because there was nothing else to talk about, and it's the bench. Like we were all like, oh man, who's going to be on the bench? We fucking did. Beef, me and you did 47 hours on who's going to be on the bench.
Sure did.
And at the end of the day, I think you start to see how Grifal's handling the team. I'm gonna be. I think what. I see Josh doing the Yaw Moncada.
Joshua Nelson.
None of
Who's
us were.
that guy?
None of us were worried about Moncada though. So like it didn't fit our bill. So I think it's the bench though. I think like we're just not going to see that much of the bench. Like I think we've seen Sheets play a game at first.
Yep.
I think Alberto played yesterday, right? So
He only played the 9th inning. He came
Yeah.
in for Moncada to play 3rd and 9th inning. And Romy started game 1, but he got relieved. I think in the 7th inning or 6th inning of that.
Yeah.
game.
So like I think he's going to use the bench sparingly. He wants his good players in there so that he could win games because he's a new manager. And good.
He's going to Tom Thibodeau these guys. He's going to Thibodeau these guys, Treasy, and I don't care. Let's do it.
I'm
baby.
fine. Win 100 games during the regular season.
Cheers, Gordo. Thank you for the drink.
I don't
Cheers,
have
Gordo.
anything else to drink because I cashed that entire bottle of Jaeger. I am going to drink a shot of Malort, thanks to Josh, too, and
God,
Gordo.
This day's going to get off to a very rocky start.
Bless you. While MSS hits that, Malort, Chorizy, I got another question for you about our early season evaluations.
Ooh, so good.
In the 1988 classic Bull Durham, Annie Savoy, played by the sultry Susan Sarandon, sends notes to the dugout with her thoughts, hoping they'll be implemented by her favorite team. If you could send a note to Pedro Grafal today, what would that note say? How would you advise Pedro for this team?
Well, if it's an Annie Savoy note, I could see her maybe quoting Walt Whitman, as she does in the movie, and saying, I see great things in baseball. It's our game, the American game. It will repair our losses and be a blessing to us. Now steal some fucking bases. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing Whitman, but I'm pretty sure that was the spirit of what he was trying to get across.
Yep.
I think that's about right.
Definitely Monica Lewinsky read that when Bill Clinton gave her that book, you know?
Well, the White Sox actually are
Oh, boy.
are 5 out of 5.
That's true.
They're 5 out of 5 stealing bases so far. So they've been perfect. So I agree with you, Chorizy, but push that envelope a little more. Let's look for more opportunities to do this. I mean, Oscar Colas even got himself a steal, you know?
Against a team that mows down runners most times.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. MSS, how about you? If you were sending this note down to Pedro, what say you?
So my first one is a funny one, okay? And if we just want to do entertaining notes, right? The first entertaining note is like, take the team to DQ after W's. Ice cream will motivate these guys more than you know. Worked for my former teams when I was in Little League. So, like, that's one thing, you know? Like, promise them a peanut butter parfait. Okay. And I think that then maybe we'll be like, you know what? Maybe we'll get that hit because I want to taste that deliciousness of the peanut butter parfait. My serious one is use Bummer only in low-leverage situations. Only until he gets his BDE back. Because, you know, once he gets that BDE back, he's going to be fine, man. But, like, right now, very low leverage. Like, we're up 27 against the Royals. Throw him in. Let him see what happens, you know. But until that happens, until he gets that and swinging that dick around again, we don't need him. We don't need him out there.
It's a good note because there was a stark contrast. Bummer came in a super high leverage situation, runners on base or whatever. He looked erratic, right? And then he comes in on Sunday and he has it's his own inning or whatever, clean inning, 1, 2, 3, knocks him down. And so I don't know if I would call it low leverage necessarily, but like yes, less pressure. And so maybe get him going for a little bit, like you're talking about, until he feels he's completely back before you shove him in them spots.
He's got to feel it. You guys know you're men. You know, some days you got it in you. Some days you can get out there and you're like, yo, this is happening. And then some days you're like, you know what? I'm not feeling it right now. Wait till he's feeling it every fucking day. Oh, my God.
Thank you,
gotta get another
I
bottle.
appreciate
Cheers, my friend.
Hold on.
Drink.
I can't wait to drink with you this season, man.
Absolutely. Says, happy opening day, fellas. First beer on me. See you in the 108.
I feel like I didn't.
Absolutely, my friend.
I didn't get enough drinks with him last year, so we
Agreed.
gotta remedy that this year. You know what though, Beef? I want to touch on MSS's first point. Were they rolling deep in Sterling, man? Like, how much money did you have? Peanut butter parfaits after the game? Shit, we got like Shasta Cola.
That's right, exactly. They got the Jewel brand where it just said cola on it. It wasn't. You didn't even know what it was. It was just cola. That's all.
You
got
want me to
The ginger ale, if you were the last kid in, you had a shitty game. You got the Jewel Club soda.
You want me to break down the third wall right now? Because I will.
You mean the fourth wall?
Fourth wall, whatever. we never went to DQ. It might have been an end of the year celebration. And when they did that, like when my daughter started T-ball, when Little Miss Shortstop started T-ball, and it was like team snacks, like a thing. That was a thing. It was just like somebody had to bring them, right? Like they have to have them. I was like, what is this shit? We never did this. I was lucky if I got a Coleman cooler of water to take to the game. You know, there was like, hey man, that's all we got. Maybe give me $1.
This is me listening to MSS's anecdote here on ice cream. Let's move along, boys. I want to get into the White Sox. Played like shit at home last year, and we were present for a lot of it. And so I just want to talk to you guys on whether you think there could be improvements here with this team with the home cooking. I mean, that's the most frustrating thing when you're a full season ticket holder. Even if your team isn't that good, if they play well at home, it softens the blow a little bit for you. Last year was the worst of everything. It was razor blades at home. They absolutely stunk. And starting out, the White Sox hit an embarrassing 77 home runs at home last year. That was 19th in MLB. This is generally a ballpark where you should blast home runs, right? And I'm going to put up a little graph that just sort of shows the people watching on YouTube. Here's all the guys who had home runs. I mean, it was Gavin Sheets and Eloy Jimenez, basically. If you look at that, especially the amount of plate appearances, too. Sheets
That's
at
like
14,
all of Sheets' home runs,
208. Yeah, that basically is. And Eloy hit 9 and 164.
The only time I let him play.
The rest of the group was kind of lacking here. So my question for you is, like, who on this squad helps bring the home runs back to respectability at home? Chorizy, you start.
I mean, I think there's a lot of easy answers here because there's already been some guys that have shown up. I mean, you look at Yaz, you look at Moncada, and those are guys that if they hit home runs, I mean, you're in a different situation. I'm going to leave everything on the board for MSS, and I'm going to go with a little kind of wild card here. Because I think I could see this kind of happening later as the season goes, and that's Elvis Andrews starting to sell out for power, really realizing like, okay, I ain't getting on base, 35% of the time, right? And I'm at the bottom of this order, and you know what? If there's no one on, and I'm up, maybe I just got to try and hit a home run here. Maybe I got to just try and gap a double. Like if he gets into his mind that he's more Dan Ugla at second base than Jose Altuve at second base. I mean, well, Altuve would hit the home runs, but he's not there to get on base all the time. He's there to just like home run or nothing, right? Like I think that Andrews could show up and do something like that, where he's got like 20 home runs on the season. If he hits 10 at home, that's a huge difference to this team.
Yeah, guy hitting at the bottom of the order and just trying to yank bombs. I could totally see it. MSS, who do you think makes a difference? This team actually hitting some home runs at home.
Mostly because Chorizy just left him on the table, and because I love his shoes and I love the vibe that we're getting from the lime green. Yoan Moncada, his swing is too fucking sweet from either side of the plate to doubt this guy anymore. And I hope this hot start in Houston continues and gets through the cold weather. I already saw one person on the Twitters, I don't remember who it was, but they're like, "Oh, he's gonna go back to the cold and he's gonna not be good anymore." Fuck that. I hope that he is at least has enough BDE to come through into this series and go, "Well, you know what? It don't matter," because Chorizy has said many times in our podcast, there is other teams can hit home runs when it's cold out. Miami can hit home runs when it's cold out. We should be able to hit home runs when it's cold out. Let's fucking get this shit going. We all have the same player pool of talent. They're all from the same areas. It's like they can hit home runs. We can hit home runs. No longer should we say, "Oh, well, it's cold." Well, they'll wake up. No, fuck that. Let's start hitting them now. Yoan Moncada is going to be my number one.
I feel like this was a side swipe at Abreu, and I love it.
A little bit.
No March, no April Abreu. I mean, I think
he didn't look so good yet in the series, though, did he? Did he come out and just destroy us? Absolutely not.
Nah, he was 6 for 16, so decent. He got hit by a pitch or whatever, so he was solidly good, but he didn't kill anything.
How many times has he got to get hit by a pitch against the White Sox before he charges the mound and starts trying to fight one of our pitchers? And it would definitely be Mike Clevenger.
He's not a charge the mound guy.
He's got hit by 1,000 pitches.
Yeah, he'll probably lead the league again this year. Who knows on that? I think some of it too. Some of the home runs or some of the extra base hits is just these guys are healthy, man. You saw it last year. Moncada couldn't get anything in that swing. He was banged up. Tim Anderson for a majority of the year was banged up. He couldn't get anything into him. Obviously, Yaz had no goddamn legs. Now these guys got fresh legs. Now you see the ball jumping off their goddamn bats, and I think that's a lot of the difference here is just the guys are healthy. They get a pitch to drive, they drive it, and they hit it in the gap right there. So
I respect this comment.
Giolito did know how to pitch to Abreu. He gave him a hard time.
It was so awesome.
But you know what? Forget Abreu. He's not on this team. I'm
still
worried
love
about
him.
my guys here on this team.
Yeah.
Jose, you step off.
Beef, who's your home run guy? Who's your pick in this one?
Yeah,
I thought, I normally don't answer the questions on my show, but I like that you asked me this one because I really haven't. Oscar Colas. I think Oscar Colas, when we start getting into the season a little bit and he gets more comfortable at the plate, he's going to yank more balls into the right field stands than basically anyone. I think he's got that power stroke, and he knows when to go for it, right? He changes his swing up if he's in a vulnerable situation where he tries to be more contact. But if he's got an opportunity where he's ahead in the count, I could see him really going for a bunch of home runs. So it wouldn't shock me if during the summer he gets hot and he starts carrying this team, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. I really like the addition of him to the roster.
We definitely want to be careful about yanking balls, though. We don't need no more testicle erosion or whatever the
Torsions.
fuck it was. Torsions. Yeah. Listen, I'm just saying, it's hitting. The Malort is hitting right now, so like this, I gotta go have a couple waffles.
Slow down. Slow down.
I'm gonna go eat something before I come to your house.
Oh no, food's no good. Next question. As we mentioned previously, the White Sox were horrible at home, 37-44 at home. This is more of a fun question than anything. Other than Gene Honda dragging down their play, what other outside factor, non-baseball, contributed to the disaster they were at home? MySoxSummer, you start.
Mostly lack of fan support. That's the answer I'm going.
Mostly our fault. The three of us.
I'm kidding. But I'm not really ready to throw Tony La Russa under the bus or on the tracks of the red line right now to like be like, God damn it. He was the only problem. Like, no, he was not the only problem. I feel like there's a theory I have going for us right now, and it is Jose Abreu's lack of vocal leadership last season that really fucking put us in the dirt. Like, listen, he was really good. He got up and he played every day, okay? That was helpful, and it was also hurtful because he was there and everyone's like, you know what, Jose's going to do it. So I'm not even going to come out here and try because Jose is going to definitely give us, his best effort. Maybe he'll hit a home run, maybe you won't. Other guys are like, we'll just ride on Jose's coattails. And if we get a home run, maybe we won't. We won't have to worry about it. But, like, listen, him being gone has woken up a couple guys on our lineup. They're like, hey, we need to produce now because that guy is gone. And so I'm gonna blame mostly Jose Abreu and the fans' lack of fan support.
I mean, your point about that, I mean, Alex Rude and I talked for about 20 minutes on something called the Ewing theory, which is that a theory right there, MSS. Like, you remove the best player from a team, from injury or free agent or whatever, everyone else realizes they got to pick up the slack.
Yep.
You can't depend on the superstar anymore to do everything for you. Everyone else has to chip in and do it. And Series 1 in Houston sure looked like that to me. Like, everyone kind of picked up the mantle a little bit.
Right?
So it's
They're
interesting
like, hey,
there.
we're here. We can hit now. Yeah.
And I'm with you on the fan support. I mean, I feel like I didn't have my best season in 2022. I could have been a little better out there in 108. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you felt like you had a career year. I know I didn't. I had
You
kind
missed
of a
opening
down
day.
year.
No. You missed opening day.
I wasn't
it
there
was
for
off to a
opening
bad start
day.
right
I
now.
did too.
Absolutely.
I did too.
So,
I was so slim last year too at opening
you hate
day.
to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. Chorizy, how about you?
I think a lot of focus was on Tony La Russa and like, he's an old drunk. And then you talk about guys like Makata. I think he's, drinking too much off the field. You got all these kind of
Hooters.
like, this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think they've been drinking enough. I think they don't look confident out there. And who's the most confident in the bar? The drunkest guy. He's definitely very confident in everything that he does, and he wants to tell you about it. He wants to tell you how great he is at everything. So I think that is something that they can focus on this year. And now with La Russa gone, there's a lot more booze to go around. So I think that could be something.
He's not nipping out of your locker with that.
Yeah, I mean, like
when that happens.
You come back after the game, your whole jug of Carlo Rossi's gone. Like, you don't. How did that hit? What do you got for after the game? And so, like, I think that there's a lot of opportunity here. I think this is something.
He's like, your bottle evaporated. I didn't drink it. It just evaporated.
You left it in the sun.
That's right.
Who brought the pineapple and the watermelon to put in the Carlo Rossi? Come on, get over here.
So, okay,
Kittle, give me a stogie.
So you think that the players need to drink more, and I don't disagree. I mean, it's a problem though. Like when you got the early morning starts, if you got the day game starts, that's a tough one. But you got the 7 o'clock. There's no reason not to. I agree with you 100%.
Could it be worse at home too? Like, I mean, like last year the pitchers gave up. Like we were talking about the hitters only getting 77 home runs at home. The pitchers gave up 98.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they still got tagged.
Giolito gave up 14. He could do that drunk. Like he could probably do better.
Folks, I have an update from opening day. They opened the gates for the parking at 10:10. So 18 minutes ago, they opened up the gate. So, folks, get ready for long lines at the bathroom and a lot of drunk motherfuckers out there chanting "Cubs suck." Okay, we'll get ready.
MSS is 10:10 early or late? Were they supposed to open at 10 o'clock, or what was the expected?
They were
timing?
not supposed to open until 11 o'clock. They were not supposed to open.
So they opened way early.
But you know what? It makes sense because if you're gonna have the game start an hour earlier than you thought it was going to, you should open the gates an hour earlier.
Yeah.
In my world, I think you should have opened them 2 hours earlier, just for shits and gigs, and then like a lot of people will just have to pass out and stay in the back in their Nissan Sentras, and then we can get to the bathroom very easily. That's what I would like to see, but potentially won't happen because it's only been an hour. You sons of bitches.
These sons. I can't believe you didn't go for Mazda there, even though this is not a sponsored show.
Oh,
You
that's
son of a bitch.
Sorry, I don't. Mazda people don't drink and drive, so
That's
I mean,
correct.
hey,
Yeah.
Wait till
That's
you see me today. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna look like a NASCAR driver out there. Sponsors all over the place.
Let's close it out. The last question: the pitch clock is going to affect the one-awayers at home games in what material way, Chorizy?
So MSS already alluded to it in this. It's a bathroom situation. So like the bathroom's going to be tough because now you go to the bathroom, you might miss a whole inning. You know, the innings are moving. So like, and if the bathroom lines are long and people don't know how to line up and don't know how to use the bathroom properly, it's going to be a problem. So I'm actually for today hoping that the rain comes through. So I could just piss my pants in the seats. And not
There you go. Man,
That's a veteran move right there.
Nothing better than piss-soaked fucking jeans or Dickies, depending on what your mood is today, Chorizy.
It's a Dickies day.
Yeah, I mean,
man,
this is not a bad
duck
idea.
cotton.
One of our mailmen says piss in a bottle. We should probably
he
start
knows.
that trend. I'm sure he does
yeah.
that when he's out there, out in the streets for sure.
108.
You just can't throw that bottle on the field. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, no, and don't let anyone drink that bottle. That's not a mixer for whatever you snuck into
no.
the park.
You know what? I
Give
would
it to Wally.
if White Sox Dave said, "Hey, I need a dip bottle," I would hand him that.
Dip and piss, brand new mix. MySoxSummer, what do you think, man? How's the pitch clock going to materially affect us?
As we all know, I love the pitch clock. The pitch clock is one of my favorite things in the world that has happened. It is the best thing since fucking voicemail, pagers, and what's that? DVR.
Best thing since
DVR.
pagers.
Yeah, I love pagers too. Those were awesome because you didn't have to be home. But as everything went along, right, the pitchers got used to it. So the first game we were 238, the second game 240, then we were 311, then we were 306. Okay, so like the game has gotten into, they're getting more into the rhythm, so they're kind of gaming the system. I don't like it. I wish it would stay at 238. But what is the biggest thing that's going to happen for the 108ers? We're going to save a shitload of money. Now, you think, okay, why? Because we're going to buy drinks outside of the stadium after the game. We're not going to get any less drunk. We're going to get just as drunk as we used to. And why are we going to do that? Because we're going to pre-plan. Because that's the one thing that the 108 is very good at. We're going to be like, yo, the game's coming up on the 7th inning. Oh, my God. We've only been here for 2 hours. Go buy 17 beers and bring them down here now so we can get there. And we'll have Richard come over and put a big pile of ice there, and we'll put all the beers right there, and we'll be good to go. So it doesn't even matter. Okay? So, we're not going to get any less drunk. Okay? So don't anybody get upset about that. We will still be just as drunk as you know us. We will be the drunk uncles over in right field. But we are definitely going to save a little bit of money because we're going to go over after the game and drink over there. So we're not going to have to sit through the 17 pitching changes that Tony La Russa would do in the 7th inning and like have to buy a ton of beer. We won't be doing that. We'll be fucking going over to Corks and then having some drinks.
Chorizy, I can't believe the thrifty guy is being thrifty with the thing that will materially impact us. It did shock me completely. It was coming out of left field. I didn't know where it was coming from. I was so shocked that was the case. That's what he chose to use right there.
Please don't be a dick.
All he really thought was like, I could time this out. I could time this out now where I only get one round a game all season.
That's exactly. Not buying twice is huge.
Boys,
it's huge not being that guy.
one of my quotes, though, that I wrote in my notes, I'll just throw it up there. We're going to do the JMac method, which is drink harder and faster. The JMac method.
You're damn right. We definitely will do that. Well, boys, we made it. Chorizy, MSS, I want to thank you for bestowing your White Sox thoughts on overreactions, solve problems, love notes, and home cooking. Remember, we're not trying to be right on this show. We're just trying to understand. Do you guys have anything you want to plug or even anything you want to say before we close this out?
Please listen to the 108 podcast every Thursday night at 8 p.m. live on the YouTubes.
Chorizo, how about you?
Yeah, and Saturday mornings, come for the Nerdcast, man. The Star Wars
fuck that
podcast
shit.
every Saturday morning for the next few weeks because the Mandalorian's almost done, and then I'll get to just serious hard drinking on the weekends. But one thing I do want to plug, and people remember, it's coming.
Yeah.
The Sunday Soak is coming back.
Yes.
It is,
We're going to
yes.
have the Sunday Soak very soon. So
And guess
we're
what?
only weeks away from the first Sunday Soak.
And we have a new sponsor for the Sunday Soak. You might see him today. hanging out there. More Than Dogs. More Than Dogs is sponsoring the Sunday Soak.
Yep.
We're actively taking taking applications for other sponsors for the Sunday Soak, but right now, More Than Dogs is number one, baby. And I saw their new trailer. Fly as fuck, bro. Fly as fuck.
All right, boys. Thank you.
Love you.
See you in a little bit.
Cheers, beef.
All right. That was my guys. Chorizy-E, MySoxSummer. Next week's guest, we ain't having one. I'm taking a week off. So Monday, April 10th, there will be no show. We'll come back Monday, April 17th. I've got some ideas for guests, but nobody booked just yet. I'll probably try to get them booked this week, and then I'll reach out to all you guys to let you know what's going on. Thanks again to Chorizy-E and MySoxSummer. Thanks to all the 108 family who was up in the YouTube comments. Appreciate all you smashing the like button, commenting, and of course, those super chats and drinks. See you at opening day. Peace. I love all yous.